Here at Crystal Cave in Kutztown. Looks like a pretty nice cave tour.
Crystal Cave Company welcomes you to Crystal Cave and its 125 scenic acres. There is much history here as the caverns have been open to the public continuously since 1871. Crystal Cave was accidentally discovered by two farmers blasting for limestone. William Merkel and John Garrett noticed an opening in the side of the steep hill. After removing some of the dirt, they ventured inside, but only for a few feet, as darkness and fear of the unknown kept them from going any further. Knowledge of the newly discovered cave spread rapidly. A group of adventurous neighbors, including John Garrett, returned to the site a few days later. They came with ropes, candles, and coal oil lanterns, and found the cave to be of considerable dimension. They would be the first people to witness the wonders of Crystal Cave and its glorious, pristine formations. Millions of sparkling crystals covered the walls and ceiling of the cave. The cave became known as Crystal Cave. It would become Pennsylvania's first show cave. This entrance will lead you deep underground. You will find a different world down there, fascinating and mysterious. And so it was more than 140 years ago when men first began to explore the darkened depth of Crystal Cave.
Keep on coming down, gather in front of it as well to make sure that it's safe. And a stalagmite might trip you over if you don't see it. In order for a stalagmite to be considered healthy and keep growing, it does need a stalactite above it. So this is the storage room. It's the smallest room in the cave, and it gets its name for two reasons. First reason being, when they found the cave, they thought it'd be a great idea to store their crops and food in here, and the nice cool temperature would work as a natural refrigerator and keep them preserved. This didn't really work out though. When you're storing crops, you also want it to be very, very dry. We just made our way from the smallest room in the cave to the second largest. We call this room the Crystal Ballroom, and it gets its name for the same reason that we call it Crystal Cave. If you look over here at this wall, you can see all the sparkling little crystals. When they first found these crystals, they actually assumed that they had struck it rich with diamonds. The ballroom aspect of the name Crystal Ballroom is because they did use it as a ballroom. Before we had a gift shop, we had an inn. People would come from all around Pennsylvania to spend the night at the inn. Because when it got really, really hot, they could come into here where it's naturally air conditioned. It's 54 degrees year-round, even in the winter. It doesn't get any hotter or colder. So as long as you got a jacket and a pair of pants on, you should be fine. And there's another passageway as well, down there where those red lights are, once again. Right now we're standing in the Crystal Ballroom. We are 125 feet below the surface. This goes another 150 feet down to the deepest point in the cave, where it's 275 feet below the surface. Now down there, it's about 49 degrees, it is pitch black, and it is incredibly dry. The passageway also goes 60 feet to the left and 60 feet to the right. I mean, right, left. I got confused. But the main highlight of this passageway is is right now, behind this rock, there's a small soundproof chamber where all the bats sleep. So they'll get a good night's rest. At the end of the day, they fly out through that hole, head up those stairs above us, go through the entrance and up the vents and start eating bugs like mosquitoes. These are called soda straws, and each one's about 200 to 250 years old. They're actually fairly young as far as the cave goes. Now, the reason they're called soda straws is because they are hollow on the inside, and on top of that, they're very brittle. We want to give you an idea of what the cave was like when it was first opened to the public in 1873. If you are scared of the dark, feel free to look over here towards where the Crystal Ballroom is. There will be a little bit of light coming from there that we can't turn off. If you want to look where it's darkest, look to my right. Chances are you won't be able to see a thing. If you request phones, flashlights, cameras, anything that lights up, try to make sure it doesn't. Everyone good? Yes. In a spot where you're coming. I'll turn them off in 2 seconds. There's the first, and then 3, 2, 1. So this is just about total darkness, minus a few lights. This is about as dark as it gets. If you look over here, you can't really see a thing. If you wave your hand in front of your face, you probably can't see it. If you close it, open your eyes, it doesn't look very different. Now, had there been no lights coming from the Crystal Ballroom and no lights coming from any of us, it would have been pitch darkness. As dark as it can get. You look up, there's a bunch of stalactites dripping onto them. Now, right in front of them is our last piece of evidence to show that the cave was originally underwater. This little thing right here, it's called cave coral. It's actually very similar to regular coral. It only grows underwater. However, it is inorganic. It's not alive. We actually will frame for that. We extend it. If it's you in the game by yourself, and flashlight, walk out. See, with more people, we all want to kind of like hold hands, follow. You might have noticed it's actually a bit warmer up here. It's around 56 degrees. We call it lookout point because if you look down, and if you can see the totem pole, you can see an entire 2/3 of the whole cave. Now, because we're so close to the surface, we're only 60 feet below the surface. We get a lot of rainwater. It only takes a day and a half for rainwater to reach this point. In the Crystal Ballroom, it takes a whole 3 days. Because we get so much water, we get a lot of formations in front of us that indent where the drop rock came out. We call it Cathedral Dome, and it's home to 200 to 300 stalactites that all drop lots of water onto Prairie Dog Island below. And each of those stalactites is fairly old. You can tell by the length alone. However, if you look up at the ceiling, we have a bit of a nursery with some baby stalactites. Each one's about 50 to 150 years old. If you look in front of me where I'm standing, we have one of our largest pieces of limestone in the entire cave. And there's a few formations that resemble animals, so we say we have a bit of a zoo here. Right here we have Sally the sea lion, who's up and ready to catch a ball. To his right, Bucky the beaver, acting like the king of the zoo. However, he's an imposter. If you follow my light up to here, you can see the lion. Yeah, so they were the first people to make back this far. We didn't know what was back here, so it was fairly dangerous. And for being 19 and 13, they did a good job. They did take it out, and they carved their names into the rock right there using an arrowhead that they found outside.
ஏன் இந்த சைடு போகணும் இந்த சைடு வலிக்கிறோங்களா இல்லை இந்த சைடு ஏன் போகணும் ஒரு லைனை பிடிச்சிட்டு போகிறதுக்கு
Everybody up here? If you remember the drop rock familiar in the storage room that was above us as the ceiling, now below us as the floor, we're actually all standing on it. It's here in front of us as well, covered in flowstone. If you look up, you can see the indent where it came out as well.
கேமரா எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்துட்டாங்க வெளியில் போகும்போது அதுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் பிடிச்சி வச்சுட்டு தான் விடுவாங்க நீ கொஞ்சம் நேரம்
Oh, well, it's good to be outside.
I passed it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That was Crystal Cave, guys. What'd you think? Pretty cool. Got a mini golf over here near the top of the hill. Looks pretty classic. Apparently there's a nature trail somewhere that way. There's a museum here too, but it's closed. There's also a Dutch food center and an ice cream parlor.